perforated that cut across the United States diagonally. That was not a good model. And you're doubling down on more unsubstantiated false information. And I keep going back to the beginning. The argument was over when you said 300,000 feet. I just gave you a scale model to understand the fallacious usage of a fact. The fallacious usage of a fact. See, what you're doing is me and you are standing outside and we're talking and we're in front of a little storefront with a little apartment there. And we see a lady coming down with a red dress, and there's a man behind me walking towards us, and he's got on a suit. And then the lady gets up to the guy and they're almost close to us. And then we hear pow. And then the guy hits the ground and the lady in the red dress goes running off into the distance. And then we're in court with the lady with the red dress, the dead guy, because we're in court now. And so you're saying they ask you, did you see the lady in the red dress? Yes, she was there. That's a fact. Did she have on a red dress? Yes, she was there. That's a fact. Was she there when you heard the gunshot? Yes, that's a fact. And she goes to jail because we convinced them instead of conveying the information. Yeah, those things are a fact. But it was somebody that saw her coming down the street from the window up on the second floor and decided to shoot the guy through the mailbox.
Hey, Osaru,
And
can I
we
say
never
something to you real
knew,
quick? Hold
but
on.
we use facts. And this is
Check
what
this
you're
out, bro.
doing, bro. This is what you're
A
doing.
lot of things cannot be proven, my brother. And
Yes,
that's
they
the
can
whole
be if you take the time to prove it.
right? Now
Oh
listen, that's
my
why people do
freaking
excavations.
gosh.
They do all these things to try to prove these things that we talking about right now. At a point in time, it was not proven. At a point in time, people was like, that shit sound crazy. Then they proved it on a motherfucker, or they faked it like it, made it look like it, made them convinced. But look, check this out. The thing what I'm trying to get people to understand is this, though, that there are lies out here, and we not like we want to ignore that. So the propaganda of
Yes.
saying your world is, you're correct. The scientists said that about your world, but your world is on the big earth, and it's your world's on this earth that your scientists don't want to talk about. They telling you about your world that you living in, and you could be living in a one little bubble or one little tunnel or one little hole on this big ass rock called Earth, and we can be one little bubble, but outside of this bubble is a bigger world and there's bigger beings and there's bigger life and everything. And we think we got to get on a spaceship and go there, but we really kind of do, but we don't. The reason why we do is because water separates the planets. So they never gave us a shape to this earth. This is what we talking about
They
here.
did. And they've improved on them with updated data.
Which would be the
Okay, so I have
pivot,
I have a
Superseded.
question because, like, okay, so
So the
if
earth
we go
is
back,
way bigger. Now, hold
Because
on.
if
of
we go back,
People that
flat
are
if we
Earth.
go back, hold up. If we
Hold
go
on. What
back,
I'm
like,
talking about right now, there are excavations of this too. These are not just the ones that y'all talking about, that scientists laid that y'all talking about. Y'all ain't the only ones. There
So
are
bring up the other
excavations of,
ones. Bring them up.
Even bring them
bringing
up
up, like when we
because
talk
I'm really tired of all the conjecture from one side and all the facts from the other. So I want to start seeing facts. I want data
Oh, shut
now.
up.
Bring me your fucking data.
Hold on, listen here.
No,
Because if somebody
bring the
showed you
data.
flat Earth,
Bring the data.
somebody showed
Bring your data.
somebody.
Your data.
Come on, bro.
No. You're referring to somebody else. Bring your data. I'm tired of this shit.
Bring your data. Bring your data. Hold on. So if you want to talk about the flat Earth map, I'm telling y'all, he showed you a flat Earth map. It looked like a plate, like a bowl. They don't fly around the bowl. They fly around the bowl. Okay. Now,
Sir,
what would be on the outside
a flat
of the
Earth map is not data.
Man, listen, man, you can look it up. Look it up right quick. Look up Infoterra map, because this is
You
probably what
bring
would
it
be.
up. Come on. You see me,
Can I get a new
Osaru, and
organic,
Apex
please?
bring
Hold on,
up
Kevin. Hold on, Kevin.
all sorts of data.
Hold on, Kevin. Hold on.
Okay. I'm gonna bring it up right now. Hold on.
So you know what? That's great. I'm glad we're into the experiment phase of this thing. Now you're saying that you have some sort of experiment that proves that the surface of the Earth has curvature. Is that what you're saying?
Let's see. Test
Are you
equipment.
talking to me, sir?
US
Are you talking
GPS.
to me?
Any
Yo,
of
Oh,
I
them.
I'm
want
sorry. I yield
anybody
to my
who
Between the
honorable friend,
wait,
anybody who
between the
is
Buck
two of
9.
you,
claiming
Uh,
to have
yeah, between the
evidence.
two of you, who has data? Like just between the two
don't
of
I
you.
got
care
I
about
got
your
experiments. I got
because I
experiments.
wanted to show them what I'm talking about. Because listen, I feel like that this earth is like a coral. We're living on a coral rock, and you know, on a
feels
coral
like
rocks, it
doesn't
got
mean
little holes
shit.
in it. You
Data.
know what I mean? And there's more holes than the one that we live in. You get what I mean? So I'm finna show you the map that would be beyond the wall of ice that they are exploring right now, or they could be possibly not. They could be lying. They could be lying about y'all. They could be lying with things that y'all saying. They could be lying about this, but it is out there though. And
I
if it's
brought you a
happened,
job website by USA Jobs on how to get to Antarctica, how to get paid to go work in Antarctica. Stop lying.
because okay. So while the people that saying, oh yeah, you can't go to Antarctica and get a job, those people should be looking up. Why is it illegal to go so far in Antarctica? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Just look up the
Bullshit.
opposite of your
There's
argument
no
to
such
see.
thing as
Do
it's
you
illegal to
see
go anywhere.
yourself
You'll just
in
die if you
this?
do because it's an inhospitable spot.
That's how I look up information. I just haven't met
Oh
no
my
information
God.
that debunk my information yet, but I do
You
be looking for it. That's
USA Job.
what they
I'm
call
sorry. I
email.
guess I'm the only one who's ever gone to USA Jobs before. Come on now.
Solomon, what was the question? Does he have any proof, or
All
what's the
right.
question you asked?
He doesn't have any
So
proof.
here,
He's trying to
let's
bring up
do
a
it like
map.
this. Here, let me see.
You
Here.
know what? I'm
So
out.
right
Oh,
here.
sir,
So
I'll leave it in
laser
yours.
experiment, the greatest
Later,
laser
But don't
Dr.
experiment in
J.
history.
leave
Yo,
when
it's a
you're
laser
supposed to land.
experiment, right? That's a laser experiment. This is over 40, this is 40 miles, right? Showing that the surface of the earth has no curvature. Here, I got another one. 20
All I
miles,
see is
right?
Google Apps. I don't see your
No curvature.
screen. Your
No
screen is
curvature.
Drop
too
Y'all,
your
y'all
drop
see
small.
my
that down,
screen?
boy. Solomon try to show something.
Yeah, that's
Yes, put him in the big
yeah,
box. We're gonna put
yeah.
you in the big
Okay,
box
so
in a second. Hold on.
I got you. I got
And
you. I
Cheryl,
got you.
this is
But
One
on you,
second,
man.
boy.
You have
I'm
way
gonna
more
let you pull
patience than
yours
I do.
back up once he's done.
all right, cool.
Oh, wow.
Doo-doo. All right, see it? So again, this is a 10-mile laser test. This is an experiment, right? People went to the water 10 miles. Hey, we're gonna test the curvature, 8 inches per mile squared. No fucking curvature. All right. We go down. I got another one. All right, where's it at? So this is what I mean when I talk about experiments. 20 miles, 21 miles, laser test, measuring the curvature of the earth, right? It's a video, right? They're showing you video 20 miles away, no curvature, right? Then we're gonna go up 40 miles, no curvature. These are field engineers. They did it 3 times, 40 miles, no curvature. This is what I'm talking about. Right? Experiments. I don't need nobody telling me about space. I don't need nobody telling me about stars and also other random shit. I'm talking about experiments done here on Earth because we're standing on the Earth. We should be able to measure the curvature. It should be it's detectable. 8 inches per mile squared. 8 inches per mile squared. After this, we got observations over 100 miles, over 200 miles, 500 miles. The world's longest Wi-Fi signal line of sight, 236 miles. No curvature. The world's longest long-range photograph, 600 miles. No curvature. Observations, experiments. That's what I'm talking about. Who's got them? You say the Earth is a globe. You tell me all about space, nebulas, satellites, all this other shit. Where's the evidence? Where's the science? Bring it
So
out.
if this is what you offer as evidence, when I offered you hard facts where you could attribute to what is casting a circular shadow on the moon, something that you can look at that's not a fucking website, something that you can look at that you don't need a laser, something that you can look at for yourself and not have to click on anybody's link and then take what they say to prove what you're saying. And I'll tell you this, man knows not by what he's been told. And if you've been experiencing a lot of arguments like this, if you've experienced the things that I'm talking about, you wouldn't have these arguments because this is clear science. Why is there circular shadow cast on the moon when the sun is to our back and the moon we're facing and we're in the middle? If the earth was flat and you took a picture of the moon and its phases, say for a whole month, and you took a picture of the moon and its phases for a whole month, and the arc across the sky, which would show a different angle, cast a shadow where the moon is in a different position now on a different day, which it would be casting a shadow from the opposite angle. So why, if you superimpose all of those pictures, which you can take an old cell phone, take all of the pictures and download an app off of the internet and put all of those pictures together in one collage, and you can piece together the outline of the earth. Now, if you do it from a singular place on the earth, then you can, and you got, if you're in America, you can get good shots of the moon, and you can trace out the shadow and its position for about two-thirds to three-quarters of a circle, depending on where you are, of the actual shape of whatever's casting a shadow on the moon. And it is circular. It's not flat in its dimension. And let's say line up the light where the sun is, where the earth is, where the moon is. We have to be in alignment somehow in order to cast a shadow onto the moon. This is too easy, bruh. This is a sickness that I'm trying to dissolve. People following conjecture, and now you're offering up something that you have nothing to do with. You didn't make no website, no laser. You're just taking what you're told. And this is one thing we know in this room: man knows not by what he's told. You don't know shit by being told it. This is why I'm showing you actual experiments that you can do, one on a smaller level that explains how this doesn't make sense. If the moon and the sun are above a flat earth or a plate and it's above shining down, then what casts a shadow on the moon if everything is up there and we're flat down here? It just doesn't make any sense. But it's something inside you so strong, brother, that you refuse to accept it, because it makes you feel good to have these arguments. And this is not good, bro. Like, I love you, man. This ain't
Hey,
good
check this
shit.
out. Check
This
this. I
is
got
not
something
good
for you.
shit. And I'm
I
telling
got
you
something.
my
I got something
experience.
for
See
you.
what
I'm
I
gonna
just put
give
down
you
there
one
though?
more of my experience, and then I'm gonna let it go,
Are
because
you
I
familiar
lived
with what I just
in
put down
North
there, or something? Are
America,
you
in
familiar with that?
Philadelphia, all my life, brother. My whole life I lived in Philadelphia. I've known all of the constellations outside of the first one that I learned, which was Orion. I learned Orion's belt, and then I learned Betelgeuse and all of the other stars in proximity spread out. And from there, I noticed exactly how it goes across the sky and goes back down. I've been to California, San Diego, California, and it's almost the same. Goes right across the sky and comes back down. When I went to Perth, Australia, it went the opposite way in the sky. And I recognized Orion, and it was upside down. And guess what else? I looked at the moon, and the moon was completely fucking upside down from the way I've noticed it all my life. And all it takes is for you to recognize the moon and then go to Australia and see the difference and see how that visual does not make sense on a flat plane. It would be
All
the
right, my
same
man.
perspective because the perspective is flat.
All right, check this out, bro. So I see you don't want to address the fact that there's no curvature on the Earth's surface, right? You keep wanting to talk about the moon. And for whatever reason, I don't know why you keep talking about the shadow of the moon. You have zero evidence.
The
None.
Earth's surface is
Hold
casting
on, bro.
a shadow on the
Hold on,
moon.
bro. Check this out.
That's
All right,
why.
look. Check this out, bro. Check this out. If what you're saying is correct, right? If what you're saying that the black spot on the moon is the Earth's shadow doing an eclipse and all of that shit. If what you're saying is correct, then now you have to explain to me what a Solennelian eclipse is. Have you ever heard the term Solennelian eclipse? Have you ever heard the term? If not, it's fine. I'll tell you what it is. I don't have a problem.
Listen, can
Do
you
know what it
explain
is?
my eclipse?
Got
Can
you.
you address what I've said before you
I got
move
you.
on to something else?
No.
Please.
We're talking about the eclipses now.
No,
All right, here we go.
you're talking about something else, and you haven't
We're talking
addressed
about the
what I said
eclipses.
for the
So
fourth
check this
time
out.
tonight. And you know you're
Sir.
insulting my intelligence, brother.
Sir.
You're insulting
Sir.
my intelligence, man. This is the fourth time I've posed this to you,
Sir.
and you're moving the goalposts. Now you're asking about
No.
salmonella and shit. Ain't nobody talking about this shit, man. What the fuck is going on, brother? I'm trying to build
Talking
with
about
you, and here
eclipses.
you are being pedantic on some dumb shit, and you're not addressing what I'm saying, man. Come on. We supposed to be building.
We definitely are building. We're building on eclipses, right? Because your claim is that an eclipse is when the sun goes behind the earth and casts the earth's shadow on the moon. That's what the mainstream narrative of what eclipses are, right? However, there's something called the impossible eclipse or the Solennelian eclipse. The Solennelian eclipse happens when the sun and the moon are both above the horizon during an eclipse. How, sir? How? Someone tell me how you can have the Earth's shadow on the moon when you're looking at the sun in the sky when it's supposed to be 180 degrees behind the fucking Earth. It's
but
impossible.
You always notice the moon is always in front of the sun. How come the moon never goes behind the sun?
We're talking about eclipses now.
Crazy,
We're talking about eclipses. The Solennelian eclipse literally kills the globe. It kills the heliocentric model because we're looking at the sun and the moon in the sky at the same time when the sun should be behind the earth casting a shadow. We can't be looking at the sun if it's casting a shadow on the moon. What that means is that during an eclipse, what you're seeing in front of the moon, that dark shadow, has nothing to do with fucking earth shadows or shit. Your entire model is incorrect. You've been lied to, sir. And I'm trying to get you to start asking questions. I'm trying to get you to use your eyes, use your senses.
I'm building me a home way on the moon. It ain't real.
Is this cognitive dissonance?
Like, is this how you feel? I'm building me a home.
Is this response like?
Hey, did y'all see the? Did y'all see with the map that I put in the comments though?
Wait. I'm sorry, War. Not to cut you off.
Yeah, y'all
it's
really for a map, right?
Osaru, do you have a response for that though? If not, you could just laugh it off.
Well, it is a complete non sequitur, a red herring.
How?
And this is a straw man that he has created to beat up because he has not addressed. He has not addressed.
He literally addressed it.
Oh my God. No,
and
bro.
Gave the argument for it.
No, he didn't. He didn't address.
I was here.
Why every time? See, we talking about a commonality. You know that shadow. You know the moon goes through phase. Let me give you the commonality, brother. Let me give you the commonality. The moon goes through phases every 28 days. It repeats a phase, and if you catch the moon in its phases and report where the shadows are directed. Now, the face of the moon does not change in its orientation. However, the shadow does travel across the moon. And what is the general shape that the culminated pictures of this shadow makes? A spherical, a circle, something that's elongated If the sun was on the top, what is it going to bounce a reflection off onto the moon? Or is it two moons where it's a moon that we see that we don't see, but it casts a shadow on the moon? Because if that's the case, then we got two moons and one sun. Or if the earth is flat, like you said, just the way I pointed out and put a flat picture of the earth on the ground, and I put the sun in the air with the moon in the air, what the fuck is casting the shadow on the moon every 28 days? He hasn't answered that. But he's talking about some
You get me the
rare
answer.
event, some rare
What's the
event.
answer, bro?
Like, come on,
What's
man.
what's the answer? What's casting the shadow? You tell me, because I'm curious.
What is it? The earth is
There's no
casting the shadow.
shadow.
And look at the
There's no
shape of the
shadow.
shadow. It's not a disc shape at any fucking time. At any
The
time.
earth,
At
the
any
earth
time. So
casting the
talking
shadow.
about some rare event that happens on the horizon, okay, that does not address what I'm saying. What is casting a shadow on the moon? Not have you seen this eclipse? If something is eclipsing something, we're talking about a light source and an absorber of a shadow.
Okay, so I got a
Something
question
has
for
to
you,
be in
brother.
the
So,
umbra or the pre-umbra. I don't know if you guys know about these things, the umbra and pre-umbra. Even these things
I
prove
don't.
that the earth is circular and round.
I don't know about the Umbra, but okay.
See,
So what about?
this is why I can't do this, man.
No,
I
no,
can't have this
no, they don't.
conversation.
No, they
You
don't
guys
I
have
prove
to
mean,
that.
study
They don't
well,
prove
to
that.
show
well, at the
yourself.
end of the day, right? At
Prove.
the end of the day, what we can honestly say is a fact. We all under 100 years old, and a lot of this shit is speculation. Ain't nobody went to space.
I'll get back
Well,
to it.
the ancient ones actually, the astronomy actually came from, came from the Moors and stuff, bro. It's like this stuff.
Thank you.
This was been chart. Yo, this has been charted, all this shit. So what are you talking about? You acting like the white people brought this. All they did is created an agency, that's a government agency, NASA, so they could put themselves at the pinnacle, like, as in we're the authority of information. This didn't come from them. So while they're saying that they're giving lies with truth, that's all. So the stuff that they're giving truth from is because it's been charted already by other people. They're just saying, hey, look at we supposedly went out there because we're building rockets. Amazing. Hey, humans, I know you haven't seen this before. I don't know how we're fucking getting played. It makes no sense.
So,
Yeah,
Solomon,
because
do you think the response that you gave, do you
because
think that
listen, we don't want to learn anything else. We don't want to just
yeah,
say, all right, well, we got taught this and got taught that, right? But damn, they is saying other stuff that I never heard of. Let me go ahead and check that shit out and see where I stand with me. We ain't even doing that. We just shooting it down because ain't nobody no scientific liar just came up and put it in the book. Sometimes that ain't cool just to accept what we know liars done created. I don't trust them. I rather
Yo,
trust one of y'all, but
exactly.
then y'all trust them.
all right.
Like,
That's
So,
why.
so,
You're right,
so,
brother, because
so,
people be
Solomon,
fucking lying. That's why I
yeah,
give you actual fucking facts, actual examples, shit
but
that you can use. You haven't
Yo,
noticed that's been my
yo,
MO since I came to fucking
where did
be
the
here?
Moors document heliocentric models? You show us that where the Moors
Why are
documented the
you asking
heliocentric
about that
models.
when
Who
that's
made
not the
that
we're
claim?
getting
conversation?
off topic.
Who made
Why are
that
you
All right,
asking
claim?
about that?
all right, okay, my bad. Let's get back on topic.
hold on,
God damn.
listen,
Yeah,
y'all,
please,
listen.
because
I
this
just
is
want to
all over
know
the place,
Listen,
man.
y'all.
if I
Yeah,
can
And my
because
say
you
patience is
didn't
at a
learn that
limit for
from the
one basic
Moors.
thing, and I
You
don't have
learned
to
that
go to
from
a bar and have
NASA.
it with these
specific.
Okay,
people of
but
this
he didn't
caliber to
say
have this
nothing
so much
about the Moors,
conversation
so
on
why the fuck
nothing.
you still saying
Can
stuff
I
and
speak
saying
real
about
quick,
the
organic,
Moors?
real quick
But
one
you're a
time?
super
Listen, 'cause
Moor, I see.
scientifically
Okay, so you
improving.
can
It's
super your ass the fuck off my panel, or either
look,
get back
look,
on the
y'all.
super
It's
channel.
scientifically been proven, right? It's scientifically been proven that the Earth is at a point of time. It was silicon based. It was
All right, all
silicon.
right, all right, all right.
So with
Let's.
it
We
being
don't have to talk
silicon
about
because
this
it
in
was
particular.
bigger, that's because it was connected
Solomon,
to a bigger part of
Solomon, do you
God.
think
Right
you
now,
have
it's not
a
connected to a
response
bigger
for
part of the Earth.
Osau's claim
Why dude
that
got
you
to mute?
actually didn't
Dude
answer
got
the
to mute
question?
like that.
Can
Who
can
is
No
you
dude?
cap.
just sum up like your answer?
I
Because
got you.
he's
I
saying
got
that you didn't answer the
I
question.
ain't
you. I
gotta
got
sum
you.
up nothing. No,
So
I ain't gotta sum up nothing.
All right,
So
well,
look,
you gotta chill, bro, because
no,
I
I
know
ain't gotta
you're
do
just
that.
talking.
I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. So look, check this out. It was silicon based,
Yo,
and
we don't want to
silicon
check it
based
out, bro.
means
What the fuck, son?
scientists have already proven that yes, the Earth is bigger than what it was now. We was bigger than what we are now because the water levels was
You
lower.
talking about small
It's a
shit right now,
different
bro. Do you
time. That's why
understand?
when the water where you got crystals and
What's happening?
corals and all type of things, right? Those is a part of the mountain. We on a big ass mountain, y'all, and the mountain is made
Organic,
out of crystal.
please.
But we have to go beyond the ice wall that done been created because the trees done knocked down our tropical world. They didn't, what they did is
Okay. What's up? Okay. We said where we at?
Oh shit. I didn't know I was unmuted. Asaro said you didn't answer his question.
Right.
So
I got you. No worries. So check it out, bro. You're kind of confusing some things about the heliocentric model. You keep saying the Earth's shadow, right? But you're not talking about eclipses. So when the moon is on, as the moon goes through its cycle, this is the heliocentric model, okay? As the moon goes through its 28-day cycle, the unlit parts of the moon supposedly is from the sun giving light to one side of it. So the dark part isn't even the Earth's shadow in the heliocentric model. That's the part where you're kind of confusing yourself. When you see the moon and it's a waxing crescent, right, and part of it is dark, that's not the Earth's shadow. That's supposedly the sun off to the side at an angle, creating that angle of light. The only time the Earth casts a shadow on the moon, allegedly in the heliocentric model, is during an eclipse. So if you're going to talk about the Earth's shadow, then you're talking about eclipses. If you want to talk about the moon's cycle, the moon going through its phases, then you're talking about the angle in which the sun hits the moon. They're two different things. And when you start talking about the Earth's shadow, we talk about the thing that I brought up, the impossible eclipse, the Selenelian eclipse, where you see the moon and the sun both above the horizon at the same time, which could not physically happen if the sun is casting the Earth's shadow on the moon, right? And so that's what we're talking about. And so you're talking about where, oh, I put a light on my head and then I created a shadow over there. What I'm saying, and I said this a long time ago, the moon's phases and eclipses have nothing to do with any freaking shadows. Yet you keep trying to ascribe that to me in a model that I'm presenting. I said that not. I don't know if you're listening, but let me make it very clear. In this model, we don't look at the Earth's shadow as causing dark spots on the moon. There's no evidence for it. It's something that we were told by NASA and in the Church of Scientism as an explanation for why we see what we see in the goddamn sky. It is akin to Santa Claus. That is not something I have ever ascribed to. Are we clear?
Hey, and then I want to add something too, like how I said that about the beyond the wall of ice. If y'all look in the comments right now, I'm finna put the picture in there that basically give you an idea of the possibilities, because they ain't giving y'all nothing but possibilities at the same time. But these is also possibilities that's coming from the same people that y'all talking about. They giving y'all all possibilities. They not no different people. All these people is the same people. So they're going right there. This is the what I mean when I say we're on a coral rock inside of water. This is like aqua world. You know, everything is about water. So water is what make the boundaries that separate the different worlds on Earth. It's many worlds on this Earth, but water, we separated by water. Is like some of it is like liquid, gas. You know, water concentrates in different forms. So all forms is separating us on this Earth right now. And the governments know this, and they've been knowing this for years. They've been practicing on this, lying, distracting us, and keeping us separated from them for years. And when they do come up over here, we call them aliens. We shoot them down. We do all kind of crazy stuff like that. And these might be the creators of the world that we live in on this Earth. They might
See,
have.
but the thing about it for me, it's the weird thing is when I look at like who was ruling the world prior to the Caucasians, they circumscribed the globe, man, and like I don't understand how like all of a sudden like okay the Caucasians come because they demolished with like 7 different nations all together, pulled the Ultron, they demolished the indigenous Aborigines of North America, and they demolished the African Moors, and now they come up with all these different models. Like,
Check
bro,
this out,
all
Genesis. Because
what I can find is like pre-cataclysmic,
but listen,
pre-cataclysmic.
so listen, if
There
you
was
look at
life was charted outside of these supposed where these ice walls are. Post cataclysmic, this is why we're where we are. Because post cataclysmic, we can't travel out that bitch. That's all it is. This is when you find. This is when you'll find. This is when you'll find that when the Caucasians started coming to view. Some people were genetically fucked up. They were breeding, and this is what happened. So I don't even know how like
so,
all of a sudden this all of a sudden is a flat Earth because a Caucasian said it. Like the craziest thing is when people can distract the mind about some simple shit, but really the fucking big deal is we need to fucking do some shit so we control shit. Because if you really want to know,
okay, so listen,
the avenue is to control some
listen,
shit. No,
Genesis, look.
because if you're like if you're like the Caucasians lying, control some shit, create some shit, and learn some shit.
Okay, so listen,
Protect the
Genesis,
black
look,
women
check
so our
this
kids
out.
can fucking stay up on this bitch. But we're talking about nonsensical things that are the biggest fucking distraction. Meanwhile, our women are out here, our children are out here. Fuck
This
the
is a
fuking round earth.
distraction.
No, fuck the
Hey,
round
so
Back
earth,
listen,
man.
to
listen,
topic.
hold on, Genesis, look. So look, check this
Fuck the
out.
round earth. Fuck the flat earth, man. Fuck all the
Hold
distractions.
on. So
Black man,
listen,
get the
that's her,
fuck off the
that's her,
distractions.
that's her.
That's my topic. I mean,
No shaper. I don't know if they got those yet, but I'm a no shaper. I don't think that the earth really have a shape because I don't think we know the shape. So I just know we live on flat surfaces though. So if that lead me more towards flat earther, it lead me more towards flat earther. But at the end of the day, for the question that I got for the flat earthers though, is what do you feel is beyond the wall of ice? Because that's gonna tell you your shape of your earth. You don't even know the shape of the earth if you saying that it's a wall of ice and you like, okay, I don't know what to say about that though. Past that, if you got to be able to come up with something else beyond that to say the shape of the earth, the shape of the earth is beyond that wall. Then it's not inside of this wall. The answers to the shape of your earth is beyond that wall. The answer to the shape of their earth is on a green screen.
Well,
So the
man, well,
answer
the
to the
thing
shape
is,
of
like, I
your
don't know
earth,
about that because, like, if you drive through Canada, it's like fucking
well,
hills.
I'm asking King Solomon. I was asking King Solomon though.
You literally have to freaking curve up, down, around to get to fucking these different provinces, especially when you're going west. So I don't
Yeah, because
understand
you
what this flat Earth thing is.
Well,
So,
Solomon,
so
I
let me
know,
answer your
I know.
question.
because you on a
Go ahead.
mountain.
Well,
You live in
let me say
Canada,
this
man. You
before
on a
you.
mountain,
I
man.
know Solomon got
You
a
a mountain, man. You at the
is
top of the
got a
mountain.
lot of good shit about what's
Hello,
beyond the
hello,
wall.
everyone.
So I do want to hear what you got to say about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I want to hear about that beyond the wall of ice, man. Can I get my answer real quick from Solomon real quick before y'all go on?
You know
Yeah,
what?
because
So,
this is surface level shit, nigga. Y'all niggas don't even know yet.
So
uh,
beyond the wall of
um,
ice, if it's a flat Earth, it's a wall of ice for us. So what you
Hey,
think
nigga,
is
let him
beyond
answer.
that?
Let him answer.
all right. So, all right. I like to be really clear, right, between when I'm talking scientifically, when I'm saying things that I suspect to be true based on a preponderance of evidence, or when I'm speculating. Okay. And so when we start talking about places that we don't have tactile access to, I want to be very clear that I'm speculating. Okay. So when you say, yo, what's beyond what's outside of the 60th parallel? What the fuck is going on in Antarctica? All of that shit. Let me be very clear. This is me stepping outside of science. You know what I'm saying? This is me saying, yo, this is what I suspect. So when we get back to talking about the rest of this shit, I don't want nobody to be like, nigga, you just said that, this, that, and the other, like it was true. No, I'm being very clear that I'm speculating, right? When we start talking about what this place is, where do we live, right? Um, if you really push me to talking about or to speculating on kind of the entirety of the earth that we live on, somebody was talking about it earlier, and I think a couple of y'all alluded to it, right? So if you look at there's a YouTube channel called Vibes of Cosmos, and he poses a very, very interesting theory that um, I gravitate towards because I think it's founded in some real shit. And so what he poses is that the Earth it's a planet, right? But think about planet in its broken down form. A plane, and when you look up the definition of a plane, it's a flat surface connected by two lines, right? It's a plane at. And so think about when you add et or ette to the end of a word, right? So a kitchenette, a wingette, a dinette, right? It means when you put that et or ette at the end of a word, it denotes a smaller version of. And so when people talk about planets, it's not a planet as in a ball floating in outer space. It's a plane at, meaning that we're on a smaller version, we're on a smaller area of a larger area. Like we're
Okay.
cordoned
Right.
off in this area, right?
So
And
that's
so
right.
that's why when if you really, really get to looking into like the giant trees, I heard somebody talk about the giant trees earlier, right? If you get to looking at the cut down giant trees, you get to looking at a lot of the mountains that appear to be old biologicals. You get to looking at some of the petrified remains of animals. They're much larger. A lot of those trees are large as fuck, right? And so to me, it says that at some point in time, the entire landmass was excavated and cut down, and the things that were living here, a lot of them were killed off, which were the giant fucking humans, giant animals, giant trees. A lot of the shit that was here, it was killed off, and then a smaller area was cordoned off, right, and made habitable for people. And so, a good representation of what I'm talking about is it's the moon map. And so, on Vibes of Cosmos, what he talks about is if you like the moon literally shows where the moon is a map of the earth that we live on. All right. Like I said, yo, this is you got to get into it for this, right? So it sounds wild as shit, but yo, it's some shit. But like I said,
But
this
you
is
still ain't answered
I
my
told you
question
I'm
about.
seasoned.
But look, you still haven't answered my question about beyond the ice wall,
This is what I'm
right?
talking about. This is what I'm
I
talking
know what
about,
you're
right?
talking about, but you talking about in here still with us though, damn near.
Right. So again, so outside of us is the rest of the area that was excavated, right? And things were killed off. Okay. And so
So
it's
let
not
me ask you a
beyond me
question.
to think that
Hold on. One more question. Hold on. One more question before you go on. One interjection. Is it any possibilities that beyond the
Wait, did
wall is
he
a part
answer
of
your first question? Because I
no,
heard
I
that
wasn't
happened?
finished. I wasn't
Yeah,
finished.
okay.
I
he
wasn't
said the
finished.
excavation. Go ahead though. Go ahead though.
Yeah. So, beyond that, what I tend to think is that just like we have a planet, we have a planet, there are other planets, right? Which means that there are other living areas that are around us, and lots of them where other people, entities, or beings are living. And so when people start talking about aliens and shit coming from outer space, to me, they're not coming from outer space up in a vacuum of space. They're coming from outer
Right.
space as in outside of the living area, other kind of living areas that are around us,
So
right?
let me
And
ask you a
they
question
somehow,
again. So what do you think about that map that I put up, the Infoterra map? You familiar with that?
yeah, I've seen it, right? I've
Okay.
seen it. And so,
So
this is the thing. So, because, like I said, I don't have direct knowledge, right, or
me neither.
evidence to say to or fro, I'm open to it. Like I've seen a lot of different maps, a lot of different models of things what they could be, and I'm open to most of that shit. right? I don't because I don't have evidence to say nope, that ain't it. Nigga, I'm open to all of it, right? And I'm always looking for evidence to support one model or another. So that's what I'd say.
Okay. So yeah, I was asking that because, like the whole idea of me saying that we living on a mountain, right? My journey was to think like, damn, we on top of a mountain. Then I started really digging deep and looking at it like, damn, we maybe not on top. We maybe are inside of the earth. And we that little sky that we think that we could look out of, we like ants. And that sky looks so big to us, but it's not as big as we think it is. Because if we ever breach the wall, we're gonna see how big the earth really is. Because all we can see is just our sky. We can't really see nothing else. But the sky is so big that we haven't breached the sky. We haven't even breached land. We haven't even breached the sea, like the Bermuda Triangle and shit like that, and like the whole idea of how much desert it is, and certain things like that, like even the things that they hide underwater and in the deserts. But we on a mountain, and I wanted to ask you what you think about the theory like that. All of these continents is mountains sticking out of the ocean, like a part of the earth that's just sticking out of the ocean, but they inside
Hey,
the dome. Like they just,
hey.
yeah, they still inside
So,
of a dome though. That's how small they is.
hey, yo, you wanna hear some of the realest shit? We've never seen the ground, right?
Right.
We've never seen the ground. We live on top of several different civilizations, right? And the remains and cut down
Bur-
biological remains of the trees and shit.
Burial ground.
We've never seen the ground,
Mm-mm.
right?
Come on.
Never.
Would that
It's
explain some inner
Mm.
Earth uh theories, or just
yep,
would that put us in that direction?
yep. It
Yeah.
would. It would.
At Gartha, at Gartha.
No, it's
Hey,
something like that,
whatever
but
you want to
the
call it.
whole tree is a, but listen, the
I,
whole earth is alive. It's alive. It's growing just like you, like everything else. They have a rising, right? So when those crystals is coming out the ground, right, and coming through the concrete and shit overseas, right, and shit, it's showing us the Kundalini is rising within the earth too, just like it's rising within us, man. And we not paying attention to that shit, but nature is showing us, even if we want to ignore it or not. Now the government can't fake that. They can't make that happen, but they can't hide it either. You get what I mean? Because it's worldwide. Now it's exposing itself. All the things that they've been lying about is coming out naturally.
hey,
And we
you
can't
know,
be
it's funny.
ignoring that shit.
It's funny. The firmament is brought up. Shit. And if niggas yogic practices ain't right, y'all not getting past the real firmament, not the redrawn ice wall, which is really outside of Saturn. Y'all don't know what y'all looking at. See, that's what I'm saying. These old maps, again, in the old world, we interpreted more than one plane as Earth. There was more than one Earth in our ancient cosmologies.
But was it
So
a flat Earth or like a globe model?
it was
Because
definitely a flat. It was definitely a flat plane.
so
So
now
yeah,
it's flat. Come on,
yeah,
guy.
on that plane, not Earth,
Uh-huh.
not the Earth we're living on. Our Earth we're living
So
on
we're
is
living on a
existing
different
on a.
Earth.
No, listen what I'm saying. The Earth we're living on is existing on a bigger Earth plane. In modern astronomy, we call that the ecliptic, or that's what you can interpret it as it is now through gross matter. See, listen, y'all don't,
Right.
right? Hey, I mean, when you study the old maps, you'll know that that's not Earth that they're depicting. Not the pyramid in the middle, not the column, Maru. Listen, I study those things very deeply. But again, people are looking at that map, and they're saying, well, that's Earth, right? And then since we're like fleas on basketballs, we think, all fleas are gonna think basketballs are flat. Earth is a big planet. It's big. Do I think it's perfectly round? Hell no. Do I follow the maps that they gave us in schools and shit? Hell no. But speaking of Neil deGrasse Tyson, listen, he said that
Nobody was
Earth is
speaking of Neil deGrasse
a
Tyson.
pear. I know, but I mentioned him now. He mentioned Earth is a pear, is pear shaped, right? And it's interesting, right? And now here's the thing: most of the northern hemisphere has more land than in the southern hemisphere, and the southern hemisphere is mostly water. Now look at the cartoon globe that people use now. Most of the southern hemisphere is mostly water. Look at it.
Hey,
Which
so
will
can I
mean
ask
what?
you a question?
Water suspended will hang. Water suspended would hang, thus forth supporting his oblate spheroid pear shape. Y'all can look up him saying Earth is shaped like a pear. Neil
Okay,
deGrasse,
so
yeah.
look, I'm going to ask you then. So look, check this out. So that would match my ideology when I was thinking about, like, say the Earth is like like I'm saying, it's a mountain. It's as we know it, it's a mountain. It's a pyramid shaped, like a pile of dirt. You get what I'm saying? And you see how it would just form naturally if it was just made like that. If it was just left like that. That's how Earth grows, right?
Listen,
So,
of course, you know, I'm a spherical earther, but I'm a flat earther too. You understand what I'm saying?
no,
I'm
but that
geo
wouldn't
and
be. Would
helio.
that
Can
I'm
I
that
say
geo
wouldn't?
something?
and
Wait,
I'm
is that's
heliocentric.
I'm gonna
Yogi
say
I'm
something.
geo.
Hold
Real
on.
quick.
Wait,
I'm helio.
Hey,
Damn, I can't even
Yogi.
finish what I was
Hey,
did
saying.
Yogi.
Yogi just
Hey,
say that?
Yogi.
would that
Did
I
Yogi
was
be?
in
just
the
say
Navy,
that?
right? And when I was in
Hold
the
I
on,
didn't
hold
woke
on.
him up,
Navy,
organic. I didn't woke him up. I
Did
didn't woke
Yogi
him up,
just
Hold on, but
say?
organic.
Did
I'm asking
Yogi
you a
just
hey,
question.
Yogi.
say he's
I'm
a
asking
Hey,
you a
flat
question.
Yogi.
earther,
Let
round
me
Yogi.
earther?
ask this.
I
Hold
would
on, y'all. Let
love
me ask
for
this.
the brothers to explain this because
This
this
Wow. Okay, so
also
Renee
was
heard
Go
my
it.
ahead.
experience.
I'm listening.
It
what
I'm
would
changed
you
listening.
my life. It changed my life. I'd love for you guys to answer me this.
what would
When
you
I was
call
in the
that Earth?
Navy, we did something called darken ship, where all of the lights on the ship will be off. It's so dark out there at sea that if it's cloudy, you don't see shit. If the moon's not out, like the actual starlight is very dim. Now we had one ship that wasn't darkened ship, and at the top of the ship it had a red light. I watched that ship topside disappear in the distance. Now I had FLIR on. You can see three lights, one at the top, one at the front of the ship, one forward, and one aft on the ship. And it's like a triangle. The two lights at the bottom disappeared first. I could only see the light at the top. The two lights at the bottom disappeared, and then the light at the top disappeared over the horizon. Now, this is what I saw. It's completely dark outside. So I saw this ship go away, and it was a few hours, maybe
You
3 to 4
think that
hours. I
was
kept glancing about this ship, and it disappeared at the horizon.
Right.
It went down hull first. The hull of the ship disappeared first
You mean the
on the
curvature?
horizon.
You mean the curvature?
They're gonna say that's atmospheric refraction. They're gonna, you know,
No,
they're gonna
no,
say
no,
that to
no,
you. I'm
no.
sorry.
But before that, did it
Go ahead.
go?
Go ahead.
Did it go over the curvature, or did it just disappear from your
right? Or did it just
It
get
sunk.
out your
line of
Did it
sight?
sight?
sink down? Did it sink down? Did it sink down?
It appeared
Yeah,
as
which
if it sunk down over the
Right.
horizon
There
because
you
the
go.
two
wow.
lights
Right.
Okay.
that now this was I was on a destroyer tender,
Uh-huh.
and this was a destroyer that had a really high mast and two CWIS systems on the top. So it's pretty high. And it the two lights forward and aft disappeared because they were at a slight angle going away from us. So we were both traveling away from each other. And I could still see them at a slight angle, so I could see the three lights. Now they kind of got closer together, but the lights that was on the bottom disappeared first. And then the mast was not a mast because it's a powered ship, but the top part of the ship where the antennas and the radar and everything was disappeared last.
Hey, so look, can I say something? I was listening. That just like I can match that up with. Okay, say this. Say somebody was on a shore, right? And a boat was coming from so far distance. You know, the boat would actually look right now, we know that this is not what it is, but because we have science now. But back then, it was ancient civilizations that saw boats coming from shores, and the boats looked it like they was coming from the sky because of the distance. It wasn't because of the curvature. It was because of the distance. It made those boats look like they was coming from the
You know,
sky,
you
and they
know,
landed
you
on the
know,
water. And they
you
called
know what's
they
But
interesting about
that's
that?
not
spaceships
what
and
I saw.
aliens, but it
That's
wasn't
not what I
true.
saw
It was
though.
just they was coming from so far that
You know what's interesting about that war? Um, a lot of the Nesubiti, people in Kemet, they were buried in coffins that were shaped as boats. In fact, um, they use boats even on the spirit plane to travel through those oceans. You know, these oceans y'all like talking about, like the seven oceans. And some of y'all like to say space is a big ocean. I'm hearing all kind of shit now. I'm hearing all kind of shit now. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you just said
But
that
that,
you were
go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, you just said that you were a round earther and a flat earther. So I don't know how that works.
Correct.
And I
yeah.
heard
I
you
know.
Hey,
say
so listen,
There's,
Yogi.
yeah,
So
I
what
am.
do
Yogi,
you
I
let
mean
am.
me ask
correct?
you. So
I
what's
am.
your
I am.
idea
I
on
am.
the triangle? What's your idea
Hey,
I
on the
am.
Amir.
triangle Earth?
All
Listen.
right, so let me ask a question because I just want to know how deep in science you are as far as
That's
observation. Do you know what
Mm.
center of mass is? The center of mass of an object or the center of mass?
I'm familiar with the concept.
Okay, would that concept be accurate in its description as you understand it?
Mm.
The center of mass, you mean in relationship to gravity? No, center of mass means nothing.
Oh,
Okay,
wow. Hold
There's no
on.
such
so
thing as gravity.
so if there's no such thing as gravity, what
Uh-huh.
pulls meteorites?
The word gravity
electromagnetism.
means
Okay,
the word
so
gravity.
So,
if magnetism pulls meteorites, do you know how much iron there is in space? Why don't we just attract all metals? Why don't metals stick to the ground, but some metals float? You have iron charged pumice that's full of iron deposits and it floats. Why is that?
Magnet.
Why is that?
right.
You,
Okay, hold
they,
on.
the reason why they
get to
believe in in gravity is
um
because it comes from the Sanskrit word graha. It means to grab. In fact, it's the same word as grab, grip, gripe, grave, to hold, the seeds. And so anything force that's holding, that's grabbing, is what the word gravity means. So you acknowledging a force and something pulling down, you believe in gravity by definition. I'm done.
all right.
I'm acknowledging a
So
force and giving it a
yeah,
description and observing it in its natural case and formulating actual formulas from observing. Wow, that's called science. Science is the
right.
observation of nature, and that's it. And the applied science is the reason why we're talking on this phone. And it's funny because gravity is one of the reasons why our fucking phones work.
Mm,
All right.
What?
So couple things. Hold on, couple
mm.
things.
Gravity don't even exist.
So when it comes to
Gravity, you know, you have an accelerometer in your phone. You can take your phone and twist it and turn it,
Your
and it
phone
knows the
works without us.
orientation
If
due
it
to
works without
gravity.
that,
Woo!
it
God,
works without
DeMarco.
that.
Why don't you look and
um
Look
see
at him.
how an accelerometer works? Look and see how an
Woo!
accelerometer
It
works.
doesn't prove gravity.
Oh
Mm.
my
all right, hold
God.
on. So, hey,
Oh my God.
Don
real quick,
Oh
hold
my
DeMarco,
on.
God.
Marco.
I'm done.
Let's
I'm done.
separate the fact from the
How does
fiction
a
real
Wow.
quick, right?
leveler work? How does
So
a fucking
you
leveler
Wow.
work?
hold on, bro. Hold on, bro.
Wow.
You said something earlier that I kind of wanted
One of
to
the
address,
oldest
right?
tools
That was
used
a
by
fatality.
Africans, a
So
string with a weight
wait, hold
on
Is
it
on,
someone
so that
else
they can
talking?
build
hold on,
strength
Mm.
bro.
against
Hold
gravity.
on,
Like,
bro.
are you
Hold
fucking
on,
serious? We have gotten like this.
bro. Hold
I'm
on, bro.
Mm.
done,
Hold
man.
on.
I thought I wasn't,
Let's.
man. I thought I
All right.
was.
So here we go. When it comes to you said a couple of things that were actually really good things to kind of bring up, right? So you talked about being on the ship and watching something go away right? From the and it disappeared from the bottom up,
Right.
right?
Atmospheric
And
refraction.
so,
Right.
right. So no, it's not atmospheric refraction, right? It's what happens
Sure.
as things go away from you on a flat surface, right? So if you look at what I'm showing on the camera, so this is a table. This is a tabletop where my man is literally showing you how things disappear on a flat surface, right? And so he's going to show you the dog go away. This is a tabletop, so it's not a globe. And you see things are disappearing from the bottom up. On flat
Exactly.
surfaces, as things go away from you, they disappear from the bottom up. That's how science works. And then he's going to literally zoom in to show you that he can zoom in and see the bottom of the dog and the top of the table. You know
This
what I'm
is
saying?
not a good
So when
parallel. The
so
orientation
not.
of
okay,
the
damn,
viewer.
hold on,
That's
bro.
not.
Hold
That's
on.
Right.
not
The smaller
accurate.
the scale,
Here you
bigger
go
you
with
see,
another
bro.
Right.
inaccurate
Hey,
model.
Wait,
just
bro.
a
Hold
smaller
on.
scale.
Let me
How can
This
y'all
is
not see
finish,
that
bullshit.
that's a
bro.
smaller
Let me
scale?
finish, bro. Let me finish. Hold on. Thank you. All right. So what we're talking about is how things disappear, you know what I'm saying, from the bottom up. Now, to your gravity. There are two things holding the heliocentric model together, right? One is gravity, okay? Which is why like they put gravity on everything. They treat that shit like Frank's Red Hot, right? Whenever some shit can't be explained, they be like, "Oh no, that's just gravity," right? However,
Really?
when it comes to
Wow.
isolating gravity, when it comes to proving mass attracted, because there are two types of gravity, right? So remember, I'm not sure if you know, there are two types of gravity, right? You have Einsteinian gravity and you have Newtonian gravity. All right. So now, currently, physics is trying to go away from mass attracting mass. I don't know if you knew that, but they're going away from mass attracting mass, right? But that's the Newtonian gravity. However, there is no experiment that's ever been done to prove that gravity is a real thing. Gravity has never been isolated as a wave, a particle, a nothing, right? There's no experiment to prove that something called gravity exists. However,
This is
when
a
we start
straw
talking
man
about,
argument.
my man, can I finish what I'm saying? And then you got it. It's all on you, right?
Yeah.
So, however,
Yeah.
when we start talking about what's responsible for the downward vector that we experience, right? What's the